What up? What up? What up, everybody? Happy Saturday. And for those of you who actually celebrate the Sabbath, happy Sabbath to you, right? I am Randy Chambliss, the private money lender expert. And today we are streaming live in regards to the I Believe Experience show, right? So this is what this is today, the I Believe Experience show. That being said, the whole purpose of this I Believe experience is to help you to enhance your beliefs, your emotions, and actions so you could get the results that you prefer, right? Whether it's to achieve a better relationship with your spouse, a better relationship with your parents, a better relationship with your children, right? Or your colleagues, whatever you want to do to be able to have a vision, create a belief, to be able to purchase your first home, to be able to buy your forever dream home, to be able to take those memorable, fun vacations with your family to destinations that you haven't been before, going to that beautiful island with the beach with white sand on your feet that does not get hot no matter how hot it is outside, right? Looking at that crystal blue water or that aqua blue water, taking the cruises that you want, whatever you want to accomplish, right? This show is geared toward helping you to be able to enhance your beliefs, your emotions behind it. That way you can take the actions that you need, the massive actions you need to get those results you prefer, right? So before I get started, just a couple of things I think you should know. Make sure that you join Chambliss Mortgage Capital's Real Estate Investment Mastermind community, right? It's free. It will never be a charge to it. All you have to do is simply go to chamblissmortgagecapital.com, click on that little link that says join community, and get access to a network of people who are real estate professionals all across the country. So you can build your real estate investment team, so you can build your encouragement, be inspired, and be held accountable, right, for the things that you want to be able to manifest in your life, right? So go to chamblissmortgagecapital.com, click on that link that says join the community, get access for free, right? Also, once you become a community member, you'll get access to the private link that we have. We have a private mastermind training. Basically, it's a real estate investment mastermind that we bring online that's virtual. Most of you all already heard of real estate investment associations that's in your local community that might meet physically every month. Those are phenomenal. Those are great. I do recommend it. I've attended those myself. But also, we found out that a lot of people can't physically go to those locations. And so we wanted to create a platform online that they still have access to continuing education, be able to network, and be able to build their relationships. So also, I want you to be aware we have a podcast, right? The podcast is called the Private Lending Podcast, the Private Lending Insider Podcast. That airs every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We stream live to this Facebook page that you're watching it on, and it stream live to this YouTube page that you're watching on, this YouTube channel, right? Whatever platform you're looking on, just come to the same place and you're going to find those lives, 7 p.m. Also, we take the audio and put it up on the most popular podcast platforms like iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc. So whoever your favorite platform you like to listen to your podcast as you're driving to work, coming home from work, or just in the evening time relaxing, you'll be able to access the audio, the podcast on those platforms, right? So again, listen, I'm excited today. This is I Believe Experience Show. My goal is to come here every 12 o'clock, every Saturday on 12 o'clock, most high willing, right? And we will be able to share some information with you. Now, today's topic, right? Today's topic, I want to talk about overcoming and avoiding procrastination to achieve what you truly want. I'm going to say that again. Today's training topic is overcoming and avoiding procrastination to achieve what you truly want. So the first thing I want to break down is the simple question, what is procrastination, right? We have to be able to know what that is. So hold on a second. Let me see if I can pull up my screen and show my screen for a second. Hold on. Let's see. procrastination, right? Let's break this thing down. Procrastination, based on let's go to Wikipedia, right? Wikipedia had procrastination is the act of unnecessarily delaying or postponing something despite knowing that there should be a negative consequence for doing so. So read that again. Procrastination is the act of unnecessarily delaying or postponing something despite knowing that there could be a negative consequence for doing so. So I want you to ask yourself a question. Do you know anybody in your family, right, or in your network that have a procrastination problem from time to time, right? If we be honest, I'll be the first one to raise my hand, right? Let's have some confessions here. Like, have you ever, right, procrastinated on something that you knew you should have done already, or you know you should be doing, but you just didn't have the capability for some reason to actually execute and do it, right? Raise your hands, right? And so oftentimes we look at procrastination in a way that it's just dismissal, right? Like, you don't worry about it. Okay, it is what it is, don't worry about it. The next thing you know, days pass, weeks pass, years pass. You look up, like, it's been 10 years. I was been supposed to do that thing that I wanted to do, right? And so procrastination is real. Procrastination is a actual hindrance, right? But you have to know how to overcome procrastination, right? And so I want to go to one of my favorite books. It's Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7, right? The book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 7. And it basically reads, "In all you're getting, get understanding," right? In all you're getting, get understanding. So it's a difference between getting knowledge and understanding that knowledge. King Solomon mentioned that, hey, he prayed not for riches and wealth and women and success and etc. He didn't pray for that. According to the scriptures, King Solomon prayed for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So knowledge is information. Understanding is the comprehension of that information. And wisdom is based on applying what you have learned and understand, right, or understood when it's time to apply, right, when it's time to use it. That's wisdom, right? And so we have to look at that scripture, Proverbs 4, chapter 4, verse 7, and all you're getting, get understanding. So no matter what you're trying to do, right, if you find yourself procrastinating in this area, then first step is to get understanding of that area, right? Let's say you're trying to buy a home for the first time, and you know that you've been paying high rent rates for a very long time, right? You understand very clearly that you're already paying the mortgage. You're just paying your landlord's mortgage, right? But you never took the steps to check your credit score. You never took the steps to call a mortgage originator and say, hey, what are the steps to home ownership, right? What do I need to do to get along, right? Because there might be some fear there, right? What if you're already a homeowner, but you're in a space in your life that you want to generate wealth for your family? Like, you want to create financial freedom, meaning that you don't have to go to work. I should say, have that job, that job that you go and trade your time and energy and skills with to get a paycheck, right? You want to be able to earn income monthly that's going to give you more money coming in than the expenses going out, right? That's financial freedom. You want that sustainable, right? And you make the decision to say, I want to use the vehicle of real estate investing. Well, that vehicle of real estate investing exists and is real. Other people have created financial freedom and built wealth through real estate, period. It's no secret. But the problem is you haven't taken the time to go out and start that process. Or if you started that process, you came into a little bump, a little curve, and you never went over that curve. You never went over that bump. And you threw in the towel. And right now you're delaying. You're procrastinating, right? So I'm going to help you to get over that today, right? I want to help you to get over that procrastination. Again, today's training topic is overcoming and avoiding procrastination to achieve what you truly want. So let's look at another scripture. That scripture is Proverbs 23 and 7. And that reads, for as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. As a man think in his own heart, so is he. Now, last I believe experience training, I broke down the scripture and we actually went into the word heart, right? So, matter of fact, let's take a little time. I have some time. Let's do this thing. So let's find out. Let's do a little research. If you all know me, I love research. I love studying, right? So 23 and 7, Proverbs, right? So let's click on, this is the Blue Letter Bible. We're going to go to the concordance. So we're going to click on that link and we're going to scroll down to the word heart. And that is H5315. So we're going to click that. And then the first one, it says soul, self, life, person, appetite, mind. That's what I'm looking for. Mind, right? So when you break that word down, mind, remember the scriptures was translated, right? Translated to English, right? You had Hebrew language, it was translated to. You had Greek language in the New Testament that was translated to. But the book of Proverbs found in the Old Testament. So it translated from the Hebrew word, the Hebrew tongue, over to English tongue, right? So mind, let's think about that. Use that word mind. So now, since we're going to use that word mind, let's go back a second and let's read it again. But we're going to use the word mind. We're going to insert mind with heart. For as a man thinketh in his mind, so is he, right? So that is significant for you to get knowledge and understanding of that, is that the scriptures oftentimes is dealing with that inner man, right? It's that mind, that soul, right? It's dealing with that 6 mental faculties that we talk about all the time, right? So if you're taking notes, write this down. I'm gonna give you 6 mental faculties that separates you from the animal kingdom, right? That separates you as a human being from the plant kingdom, right? And these 6 mental faculties are simple, but most people are not aware of them, so they can't work on themselves with that. Number 1, the 6th mental faculty is you have a will, you have perception, you have intuition, you have reasoning, you have imagination, and then you also, number 6, you have memory, right? So a will, you have a will to choose what you hold in your mind. You have the will to choose what you're going to think about. Whether you're going to think about something that's negative, something that's fearful, something that's give you a negative emotion, that's, you worry, you're doubting, right? You have a choice to think about that. You have a choice to think about any image that you want. But you also have a choice to think of something that is good, something that is in good report. You want to think on these things that are lovely, things that are exciting, things that make you joyful and happy. You have a choice to think about those things, but you also have a choice to imagine and envision that in your life. So you have a will to choose, right? But you also have intuition. You also have reasoning, the ability to think thoughts and pull thoughts from different places, even in your environment that's floating around in the ether, and create new ideas. You have the ability to have a memory, right? You can recall things that happened in the past, and oftentimes that triggers some of the procrastination that you experience today or experiencing today. Because you think about doing something, then that memory come up and says, wait a minute, hold on. Didn't this happen to you before? And then you immediately reason with yourself and say, oh, yeah, all right, I don't want to go that route. And you toss the idea out the door, right? So reasoning and memory goes hand in hand, right? You have a memory, but you also have a vision. You can visualize something negative happening that is not going to work out, or visualize even the memory that you had, right? But also you can visualize the outcome that you prefer. You can see yourself being and doing and having the things that you want. You can see yourself being successful. If you think from the place that you want to be, you can see yourself already doing what you want to do. That's vision. So I'm gonna tell you a quick story. I remember when I was riding the bikes with the children, right? And my youngest son, he was 5 years old, I think, at the time. So he had his little bike. He was riding. We was going in the neighborhood, driving our bikes to the park, and there's little speed bumps in our neighborhood. So he hit the speed bump, boom, boom, boom. He was riding his bike. He was getting down, right? He was having fun, right? Hit another speed bump, boom, boom, boom. He riding, getting down. And I told him, I said, Elijah, slow down. Don't hit them speed bumps like that, sir. Be careful. Okay, Dad. He was riding, hit that speed bump, boom, boom. He crashed. I mean, the bike slid one way, he slid the other way, right? He was sliding. I'm like, wait, hold on. So I didn't get emotional, right? So I told him once he finished sliding, I said, listen, Elijah, get up, sir. You all right? He said, yeah, Dad, I'm all right. He got back on his bike and started pumping again, right? So here's my point of what memory does and reasoning does, sometimes in a negative way, right? It's there to protect you, right? Reasoning is there to protect you. Memory is there to protect you. Some type of vision is there to protect you. Well, what do you mean, Randy? Break that thing down. Well, do you know the next time when Elijah is riding that bike again and he see that speed bump, what do you think he's going to do that next time? He's going to get close to that speed bump, and that memory, that inner voice going to say, bruh, don't you remember last time you hit that speed bump and your daddy told you be careful and slow down and you fell? Guess what he's going to do next time you get to that speed bump? You're going to go around that speed bump, right? That's what happens. So you have to know that the thoughts that you think, the memories that you have, the visions that you have is not always a bad thing. It's just designed to protect you. It's designed to help you, right? For example, many people have done this in the past, including myself. Come on now, raise your hand. Somebody, we're going to have some confessions again up in here, right? And you was in maybe the kindergarten grade, right? Maybe the first, second grade, maybe, somewhere in the younger days. And the teacher told you to stand up, speak your name, tell everybody who you are, or the teacher maybe actually had to read a sentence, right? Well, as people around you is standing up to tell their name and to read a sentence, right? The closer that opportunity get to you, right? Your heart starts to pound. I mean, it's beating so hard, people could hear your heartbeat across the room, right? Your breath start to get shorter. That nervousness start to get there, right? And then finally, right, you may have overcome that fear and you stand up and you say something, bam, 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 yep. And then all of a sudden you made a mistake, potentially. And then the teacher, right, not knowingly, right, she might have been doing this or he might be doing this unconsciously, but they need to be more aware of this stuff, right? The stuff that I'm teaching you right now, right? So the teacher said, oh, no, that's wrong. That's not the right thing. Okay, sit down, Johnny. Keisha, who's next? You come up, say that. Well, what happened just now? Well, first off, the little boy was already afraid, right? He was already nervous. His heart beating out his chest. You could see his shirt moving, right? Finally, he kind of overcame the fear and he spoke, and all of a sudden he was embarrassed. He didn't say something right. And so the teacher embarrassed him. She may not even know she offended him. She might not even know she embarrassed, but she did. So all of a sudden now, that same young boy grow up to be in junior high school, grow up to be in high school, become an adult and is in college, or now an adult and in the professional world, and he have to speak in front of his colleagues. What do you think that's going to be thinking in his mind? What voice, words that you think he's going to be hearing? He's going to be hearing the voice of reasoning. He's going to go back to that memory of what happened back then. And he wants to what? Avoid pain. He wants to avoid that pain. And so he get nervous again. Or he tend not to want to speak in public. He tend not to want to jump on a Zoom. He tend not want to be able to teach. You get my point? Because that memory said, you remember the last time you stood up and called your name and said your name and said something, you was embarrassed? That happened 20, 25 years ago. But it's real, ladies and gentlemen. This is real. And so this all ties into what? Procrastination. Because what happens oftentimes is that we see something, and right, you probably didn't experience this or know somebody experienced. You may have tried to start a new business. And then you want to tell your friends and families and family members and your spouse and some people who love you, who want to protect you, may not have seen the vision that the Most High gave you. They may not have seen that vision. Why? Because the Most High gave you that vision. And they will tell you something like, well, John, Susan, you can't do that. How you going to do that, John and Susan? It's A, B, C, and D. Hey, I want to be a real estate investor. I want to be able to, help to create more affordable and workforce housing, to be able to help prevent and reduce homeless in our community. How are you going to do that? The real estate market is bad. Interest rates are high. Like, nobody is buying houses right now. You get my point. Well, my prescription of the glasses that you see me wearing right now is my prescription. It's my vision. I can't take these glasses and give it to my wife and expect her to see through my lens, through my glasses, through my prescription, through my vision clearly. Because it's not for her. It's for me. So you can't expect your family members and friends, your colleagues, the people you know, right, to see clearly your vision. Oftentimes, it's not even good to even tell them your vision until you're actually already accomplishing it. And then the naysayers can't say nothing. So you have to be careful, because procrastination, right, is going to hinder you to be delaying, right? So when we go back to that definition of procrastination we read earlier, and this is literally coming from Wikipedia, procrastination is the act of unnecessarily delaying or postponing something despite knowing that there could be a negative consequence in doing so. So you have to not delay, right? You have to not postpone what you are assigned to do. Whatever your assignment is that the Most High gave you, right? Whatever that vision He gave you, right? You cannot procrastinate. You need to move forward, because somebody is looking for your story. Somebody looking to listen to your story, to hear your story, to feel your story. They need you to break down what happened to you in the past so you can teach somebody else. They need you to bring that product and service to the market to help serve. See, there's a law of compensation. I want you guys to remember. Write this down. The law of compensation. The law of compensation basically declares that you get paid based on the need for what you do, your ability to do it, and a difficulty it is replacing it. I'm going to say that again. The law of compensation declares and decree that you get paid based on the need for what you do, your ability to do it, and the difficulty it is to replace you. So when you have a passion about something, and you know this is what you love to do, but then the object is to go find a need for it. What field, what industry needs that purpose that you have? And then you see a problem there, you identify that problem, and then you create your services, you create your product to solve that problem, to solve that need. But your ability to do it have to be great. You have to have the proper mindset. Let's reverse that word and say, set your mind on the end goal. What it would look like to win. What it would look like to serve people and help people. The next law I want to share, which is the law of economics. The law of economics states and declares and decrees that if you want to increase your income, you have to increase your service. You have to ask the question, who do you serve? You serve people, right? So it just makes sense to know how people think, how people move, what's creating the behaviors behind what they're doing, the actions behind what they're doing. You have to know that. You have to study that. You have to study your craft. It's said and it's known that you need at least 10,000 hours in your craft, in your field, to become an expert. But it's going to take you 10,000 hours in the year to study and learn and grow and get an understanding, or it's going to take you 10 years to study, learn, and grow and to get an understanding, to be that expert. But those two things, when you understand the law of compensation, the law of economics, that's going to help you with procrastination. So for those who tuning in, make sure that you like, leave a comment, right? Positive comment, share this page, because the more time you like this, right, the more likes we have, it tells YouTube and Facebook and all other social media platforms that this is some value information. So if you feel like you're getting some value, right, you're learning something, then do me a favor, smash that like button, leave a positive comment, share this with a friend, share this with a colleague, right? So today's topic we're talking about is overcoming and avoiding procrastination to achieve what you truly want, right? And so with that being said, what are some of the emotions that's behind procrastination? What some of the triggers that's behind procrastination that you need to know about, understand, so you can avoid it in the future? We're going to hit that reset button today, right? You got to make a declaration, right? I want you to say that out loud. I'm hitting the reset button today. Like, say that with me. I am hitting that reset button today. Next, I want you to say this. It is possible. Say that, right? Literally, it's possible. Say that 3 times. It's possible. It's possible. It's possible, right? So today is the day that you're going to what? Reset. You are starting new. You are born again today. Today is your born again date, right? Today is what? October 26, 2024. 12:27 p.m. Central Standard Time. Write this date down, write this time down, or whenever you're watching the replay on this video, today is the day that you hitting that reset. You are born again today. Why? Because you're getting better knowledge, but more importantly, you're understanding this knowledge. Now, I can help to give you the knowledge. I can help break this thing down so you can understand it. But it's going to take you to use wisdom to apply this knowledge that you understand when it's time, when the critical time comes for you to do that, right? So let's break what procrastination, what often slows down and delaying your process of getting where you want to get. So you want to do what you want to do. You want to have what you want to have. You want to be who you want to be. You want the beautiful home for the first time. You want to move into that forever dream home. You want to take dream memorable vacations, right? You want to be able to drive that luxury vehicle. You want great health, great happiness, love, success, prosperity, and even money, right? You want enough money to come in where you can retire and never have to work again. Enough money that you can take care of all your family members, right? To be able to build generational wealth and keep that commandment that we've been given by the Most High. It says that leave an inheritance to your children's children, right? Or you're looking out for your grandkids. Forget what you're doing, right? If you don't want to build something great, if you don't want to keep the commandments, I get it. At least think about your grandkids, right? At least think about your children. They're relying on you. Like, you have to be able to pass that baton on to them. You can't expect them to start from some lap zero. Like, no, you can't do that. You have to grind out. You have to go and learn. You have to be taught. You need a mentor. You have to be a coach. You have to be coached. Learn, understand, and apply. Now, as you continue in this process, you're getting better and better. Every day you're looking to get better. The next thing you know, a week passed, 2 weeks passed, you're getting better every day. 6 months passed, you're getting better every month. Years pass, you're getting better every year. And the more you get better and better what you do, the more you can pass that on to your children and the people in your community. I live by this philosophy that says that each one, teach one, pass it on. Each one, teach one, pass it on. That's how we continue to build the community. Whatever topic it is, whether it's financial literacy, whether it's real estate literacy, whether it's real estate investing, whether it's self-awareness, right? Whether it's creating a better mental health, better physical health, whatever it is, it has to be continuing growing. But let's go back to that procrastination. I'm going to be real with you guys. Procrastination, the number one cause of procrastination is that you don't believe. I'm going to say that again because that's critical. The number one cause of procrastination is the simple fact that you don't believe. So whatever that thing that you're trying to do, right? You're ready to start that new business and you're procrastinating to getting the name secured, to getting the logo secured, the brand color secured, to getting the purpose in place, the mission and vision in place, moving forward, spending money to get continuing education in that trade or that area of concern or that problem that you're solving as an entrepreneur, right? You're procrastinating. You should have started this business already. Or you may have the business started already, but you're not marketing it. You're not branding it. How are you going to have a business and be a secret agent, right? Like nobody knows what you're doing because you're afraid to tell your family. You're afraid to tell your friends. You're afraid to do videos. You're afraid to go out and spend some money on marketing. You're afraid to go out to events. You're afraid to go network. You're a secret agent. Nobody knows what your product and service is. And it's probably a phenomenal idea, an extraordinary service that you're solving a problem with, but nobody knows it exists. So one of my mentors, his name is, I can't think of his name right now. Lost my train of thought, right? But anyway, he mentioned, he said, listen, you have a job that you go to throughout the day. But when you get off that job, Miles Monroe, that's what it was, Miles Monroe. Miles Monroe said, when you get off that job during the day, then you should be working your work, meaning working your business. So you go to work during the day, or your job, I should say, during the day. But when you get off that job, you shouldn't be burnt out and tired. You should have enough energy, or make yourself have enough energy so you can go work your business. So eventually your business income is going to be more than your job income. And then you can let the job go and can continue to flourish. But the reason why you haven't started that business just yet, the reason why, if you have the business, you haven't started marketing and branding that business just yet, is the simple fact that you don't believe. You don't believe you can do it just yet. If you did, you'll be taking massive action. So what you're feeling, right? Your emotion, remember we talked about emotions in the last training. Your emotions only respond to what you're thinking. I'm going to say that again because it's important. Your emotions only respond to what you're thinking. The Most High God did not design your emotions to discover if something is true or false, to determine if something happened in the past or the future. It haven't determined if something is negative or positive. It wasn't created to do that. It was only created, your emotion was only created by the Most High to only respond to your thoughts, your thinking. It's called vibration. So a lot of people know about the law of attraction, right? But people don't often realize that the law of attraction is a secondary law. The law of vibration is a primary law. You vibrate on certain frequency. Every thought you have is a frequency. Whether it's a positive thought, negative thought, it's a frequency. Everything you do is have frequencies. You have infinite number of frequencies. So you might be on a low frequency in a certain area of your life right here, right? This is your starting point, but your goal that you want to accomplish, right? That wish, that burning desire that you want to accomplish is on a different frequency. It's up here. So you have to find a way to get on that same frequency and match that vibration. And vibration is just the awareness of your feelings, the awareness of your emotions. So you have to get on that vibration. You have to get on that frequency. And the longer you stay on there, the more it will be attracted to you. I need you to get that, right? We're gonna go deeper in some other trainings, right? But I want to keep it super simple right now, right? But my point is, your emotions only respond to your thoughts. Your emotions only respond to your thinking. So that means you have to be conscious aware of what you're thinking. How do you be conscious aware of what you're thinking? All you have to do is ask the question to yourself, how am I feeling? How am I feeling right now? Am I feeling fearful, doubtful, worrying? If I'm feeling those feelings, I must be thinking those thoughts. And so to overcome that, you have to control your bear. Brandon, what are you talking about, control your bear? Well, the last training we did, I encourage you to go back to that training. The last iBelieve experience training, I talked about that bear. The bear is an acronym that's easy for you to remember. It's called BEAR, bear. The B stands for belief. The E stands for emotions. The A stands for actions. And the R stands for results. Meaning that you're not getting the results that you prefer. And you think, oftentimes, right, we've done that in the past, including myself, right? We all, right, we have a tendency to think to change the results, we have to change the actions. And that is logical. It does make sense. But the problem is changing the action is only going to last a small amount of time. It's going to last maybe a couple of days, maybe a week, maybe a couple of weeks, maybe possibly a couple of months, right? But eventually the action is going to stop, right? You're going to stop taking the massive action. You're going to go back to the programs that you have inside of your subconscious mind. You're going to go back to those habits that you have. You understand what I'm saying? And so you're going to default to those habits. Well, let me tell you a brief story real quick. Imagine yourself. You're walking up the street, your cell phone ring. You pick up the phone. Hello, how you doing? Happy Thursday. Yep. But you're walking. Do you stop walking and just sit on the side and have a conversation because you can't do two things at once? No. When that phone rings, you pick up that phone, you continue to walk. What happened is that you defaulted to the subconscious program, that belief inside of you, that habit that says, this is how you walk. You're not thinking about, okay, I got to spread out my feet at least 2 feet so I don't fall. I have to have my feet flat and my toes spread out so I don't lean over. You're not thinking none of those consciously thoughts. No. You just defaulted to the subconscious program. Why? Because you learned how to walk when you was a baby. As a baby, you got up, you fell. You crawled, you tried to get up, you fell. Your parents is encouraging you. Oh, look at little Susie. Look at John. Look at Tyrone. Come on, Tyrone, get up. Right? So your family members is encouraging you. So as a baby, you get up and you falling, but you keep doing it over and over and over again till eventually you start walking. So once you learn that behavior, you cannot unlearn it. Once you're aware of something, you can't be unaware of something. So now that becomes a program, that becomes a habitual habit. So now when you pick up the phone years later, as you walking, you talking at the same time, you have defaulted to the programs of walking. And so that's called a habit. So the idea is to plant your wishes, your goals, and your burning desire inside of your subconscious mind as a program. It's going to take habitual habits. It's going to take continual, ongoing information that you're going to have to receive and do so that could become a belief. That's all a subconscious program is. It's a set of beliefs. So getting back to our bear, the R is our results. If you are getting the results you prefer and you're getting the results you want, then hey, you don't have to change anything. You're good. Continue to do what you need to do or what you've been doing to continue to get the success. But if you had a part in your life, in a certain area of your life that you feel like you're not getting what you prefer, right? And you're procrastinating on moving forward, that simply means, just to be a little bit in your face respectfully, is that simply means you don't believe in that area. Because if you believe that you could start this race knowing that you can win, bruh, you're not procrastinating. You're going all in, right? Like, what if? Think about that. What if you could start the race knowing that you can win? What if you knew you couldn't fail when you started this business? What if you knew there was no possibility, no way, no how that you can fail of not making and building a multi-million-dollar business? What if you knew you couldn't fail of buying that first-time home for your family? What if you knew you couldn't fail of investing in real estate where you're financially free, where you never have to work again? What if you knew you couldn't fail to be able to leave those assets from real estate investing that you created over the years, right, through your hard work and dedication, and you gave that inheritance to your children's children? What if you believed that that was possible? How big would you play? How many people would you tell about your vision? How many people would you tell about your business? How many people would you go all out and call, make cold calls, get an email list and email these individuals, call these individuals, text these individuals, continually ongoing? How many people would you bring to a meetup that you created? How many people would you go on social media and just go live and tell them about your business, tell them about your program, Tell them about the product or service you have. Tell them about the meetup you had. Like if you knew you couldn't fail, how many people would you tell? You'll tell everybody. You'll be screaming from the top of your lungs because you have a deep belief of success. It's a different mindset. You have set your mind on the end result. So that's what I mean. If you're not getting the results that you want and prefer, and I'll bear, B-E-A-R, you don't go to the actions because the actions is only going to last for a limited time. And you're going to default to those subconscious programs that's been continually keeping you in a habit of procrastination already. So get this. Bruce Lipton, I learned this from Bruce Lipton. Bruce Lipton mentions that 95% of the time throughout the day or more, you default to the subconscious programs or AKA the beliefs that you have in your own mind. 95% of the time, I gave you an example. You're walking on the street, your phone rings, you default to the program of walking. That happens 95% of the time throughout the day without you being aware of it. So that means you walking, that's an action, that's the A. That's the behavior. That's the A, the action. And I'll bear. But the action is not the solution, the permanent solution. Neither we go back to the E, which is emotions. The E is not the permanent solution. How can it be? Your emotions only respond to your thoughts. Your emotions only respond to your beliefs. Depending on what you're thinking at the moment, good or bad, that's how you're going to feel. If you're thinking fearful thoughts, you're going to feel fear. You're going to fear fear. You're going to have bumps, goosebumps, hearts jumping, your heartbeat pumping, right? If you think thoughts of faith and excitement and love and joy, you're going to get excited. You're going to feel excited. Your emotions are going to feel joy. It's just that simple. So you can't rely on the emotions, right, to determine your actions, to give you the permanent results that you prefer. No, you have to go to the root cause, and that is the B, your beliefs. Your beliefs. You have to find a way to take your wishes, your goals, your burning desire, whatever you want, whether it's financial success, financial freedom, buying that first home, investing in real estate, fixing and flipping properties, developing more affordable workforce housing to be able to prevent and reduce homelessness in our community, having a social impact, investing with a purpose, whether that is starting a new business, expanding that business, whether it is helping your parents, right, in their older age to pay for their way of life so they don't have to worry and stress about money, to be able to take care of your wife, your spouse, and your children in a certain way that you're not replenishing what they experience on earth. If you want to be able to have great health, happiness, love, success, prosperity, and money, right? Those things is going to come from that B, that belief. So what if you can create a certain belief, have that in your subconscious mind, and then 95% of the time throughout the day, you default to your programs, and your program is already playing subconsciously your wishes, your goals, and burning desire. Now you consciously thinking about these thoughts, you visualizing this, you feeling the feeling in the vision, but when you default to the program and your program is already paying the same thing, then that's where you accelerate and you no longer procrastinate. I'm gonna say that again. Now you're able to accelerate and you no longer procrastinate. Because remember, procrastination is just a tall tale sign that you don't believe. That's it. You don't believe. So whatever your product is, whatever the service, whatever that business is, whatever your profession is, right? Remember, we talked about the law of economics. To increase your income, you have to increase your service. Who do you serve? You serve people. You have to know how people think. You have to know how people are aware. And then you have to go serve more of them. The law of compensation states that you get paid based on the need for what you do, your ability to do it, and the difficulty it is replacing it. So when you find that need as an entrepreneur, that problem that's there, you as an entrepreneur is solving that problem with your products and your service. Now, all you had to do is go and just increase that. Go out there and market and brand. Go talk to people. Pick up the phone and start dialing for dollars. Cold call. You know why you're not making those cold calls? I'm going to tell you why. Respectfully, to be in your face just a little bit, right? The reason why you're not making those cold calls is because you're afraid of somebody hanging up in your face. You're afraid of somebody saying, hey, stop calling me, click. The reason why you're afraid to go knock on your prospect door on that business and tell them about your business because you're afraid they're going to slam the door in your face. But again, if you identified a problem and you have a solution to that problem, so if you have a certain business or that target audience that you're serving, then you should already know what the problem is. Your entrepreneur skills, your business should be solving that problem. That right there should create a passion for you. That right there should create a purpose for you. So now you're passionate about it. You have a purpose about it. And I always say that you have to be skilled, trained, and developed, and create the passion and commitment for what you're doing. I'm going to say that again. Write that down. You have to be skilled, trained, and developed, and create the passion and commitment for what you're doing. In other words, that passion and commitment, that purpose, helps with your beliefs. I'm going somewhere with this thing. That passion and purpose that you have for your business of solving problems for the community, that allows you to create a better belief. It's the self-image you're dealing with, guys and ladies. It's the self-image. You're building up your self-image. So there's no reason for you to procrastinate. There's no reason for you to be afraid of somebody to hang up in your face, to say, stop calling me, to close the door in your face and say, don't come around here no more. You scrub, get out of here. There's no reason for you to think those thoughts anymore. Remember, that's a vision, but that's a negative vision. That is a fearful vision. It hasn't happened yet, right? Both fear and faith, both takes the same thing, and that is the vision. But both of them can't be in your mind at the same time. You can't have a fateful thought and a fearful thought all at the same time. You have to believe in either one. So you cannot get caught up with thinking negative. You have to captivate that thought, put it in captivity, and throw that thought out the door. This is how you believe. Because it hasn't happened yet. You're thinking a future thought, a negative future thought, and you what? Feeling the feelings behind that. The feelings does not feel good. Worry, doubt, fear, anxiety does not feel good. I get it. And so that means you're going to take little action to no action and quit. And then you're going to get the results that you do not want. And then you're caught up in a loop. You're caught up in this cycle. But what if you could change that? Since you're aware of this right now, you have knowledge of this now, and you're getting the understanding of this now. Now you can use wisdom and apply what you now learned and understand. So now when you think the thought of, man, what if somebody hang up in my face? What did they tell me to start calling? No, now you can think the thought, man, they need me. They need my service. I have a solution to their problem. I can make their business more efficient. I can improve their health. I can improve their finances. I can improve their marriage. I can improve the relationship with their children and the parents. Like whatever you're doing, right? You have to think on those things, the things that are good, the things that's in good rapport, the things that are lovely. Think on these things, as the scriptures say in my favorite book. Think on these things. So now that you're thinking on those things, you're not afraid to pick up the phone. You picking up the phone knowing that you're a solution provider. You're picking up the phone. Guess what, guys? Sometimes the people might say, listen, I'm not interested right now because they're busy. That's all. Stop taking it so personal. You get busy, right? You might have a spouse, you might have children, you might have your job during the day you work. You may have your work, which is your business. You work after your job, right? You might be involved in the church. You might have some community events. You're busy too. So people call you, people text you, people email you, people follow you. Do you say yes to everybody? No, let's be honest, you don't. So you do it to other people too. But you're not doing it intentionally, oftentimes, right? And so that's the perspective that you look at it when you're making your phone calls, when you're branding, when you're marketing, when you're emailing, when you're texting, when you're down knock on those doors. People may be busy. Your goal is to follow up. Keep following up. I just need 5 minutes of your time. Keep following up until they cry uncle, until they say, listen, cool, come see me for 5 minutes. And then you're in. Because you're only looking at a target audience. The idea is to get into their network because they know people that you don't know. It's an old cliche that every dud knows a stud. Right? I'm gonna say that again. Every dud that knows a stud. So you know what who your target audience is. Your goal is to expand to reach those people, but you may not be able to reach those people in your first degree network. You may have to go to tap into somebody else's network, and that becomes your second degree network. And then they'll be able to introduce you to their network. And now you're able to what? Reach more people, serve more people. But it all starts with the beliefs. The beliefs. So you're either going to be believing on fear, worry, doubt, and then that's going to turn into anxiety. And that anxiety is going to eventually turn into depression. Or you're going to say, no. I'm conscious. I caught this fear thought because I'm feeling the vibration of this fear. And now I'm going to think on faith. I'm going to have faith that this will happen. This will work. It's possible. And then you create those affirmations and you keep going. So I want to share these two things, which I want you to write this down. That is faith and fear. So faith comes from hearing the word over and over again. Not just the word of God, ladies and gentlemen, any word, even your word. That's how you build up your faith, by keep hearing that word over and over again, reading it diligently over and over again. One of my favorite scriptures talks about, hey, you share the commandments. You talk about the commandments when you are lying down with your family, when you are walking, right? Put the commandments on your doorpost. When you walk in your house, the 10 commandments right there. You're talking about the commandments. You're expressing the commandments when you eat, when you're watching TV, you're having a family. You talk. Why? It's perpetual, ongoing, continual, a habit that's being formed, habitual habit. And the more and more and more and more that we teach the community, and that the person hears that word over and over again, they start to build up their faith. But faith and belief is two different things. You only believe what you see. You only believe what you see. So in order for you to create that belief, you have to have a vision. One of my favorite scriptures says, well, there's no vision, the people perish. So what's the opposite of that? Everything has an equal opposite. That's the law of polarity. The law of polarity declares and decrees and command that everything has an equal opposite. If something is hot, got to be something cold. If there's an up, there must be a down. If there's an in, there must be an out. That's the law of polarity. Everything has an equal opposite. Fear, faith, equal opposite. So the vision is, if you do have a vision, you will have life. If the person doesn't have a vision, they have what? They perish, according to the scripture, because they have no direction. You have to give your mind a purpose. I'm going to say that again. You have to give your mind a purpose. You have to have goals set, a purpose set, a passion set, and you tell your mind what to do. You tell your emotions how to feel. Give your emotions a purpose. How do you give your emotions a purpose? By what you're thinking. You tell your mind what to think. Think on these things, mind. So now you visualizing yourself being what you want, who you want to be, doing what you want to do, having what you want to have, whatever that looks like for you and your world and your family. But you visualizing from the place that you want to be. You're thinking from the place that you want to. You see yourself. It feels wonderful. You feel that the object is to feel the feeling behind the vision. Like, what would it feel like if you already accomplished your goals? What would it feel like? You have to create the feeling. Why? Because the feeling sets you up. The feeling is just a conscious awareness of the vibration. Remember, we talked about that earlier. You're here. This is where your starting point is. Your goal is here. Your goal is on a certain frequency. It's a higher frequency, meaning that it takes you to get better. You can't be the same person to reach the new goal. You have to become the person of the goal. That's how you reach the goal. But the goal is on a frequency. Where you're currently at is on a frequency. So you have to find a way to match the frequency. How do you match the frequency, Randy, you ask? You match the frequency by visualizing, creating a vision, thinking from that place that you want to be, feeling the feelings of what it would feel like to be there. And then the longer you stay there, right, you're going to lose that vision, right? But you got to go back to it again the next day. Go back to it again later on that day, and continually, perpetually, ongoing, never ending. Stay in that vision. See yourself being what you want to be, doing what you want to do, having what you want to have, seeing yourself walking in that beautiful home, feeling what it would feel like on your toes in the cracks of the tile floor, right? Feeling the doorknob as you open up the door, feeling the air conditioning, smelling the beautiful scent and smell in your own house. That's the type of vision have to be detailed. And as you visualize and you feeling those feelings, you're matching that frequency. And eventually, the law of attraction is going to continue. Whatever you put out, you get back. Whatever you reap, you sow. So that's how you be able to what? Create the belief. You create the belief by seeing it. You create the faith by hearing it. And you want to use 2 words in the beginning. I am. I am. I am so happy and grateful that I ... I'm so happy and grateful I have great health. Imagine if that little leg was bothering you. And oftentimes you might see a elderly lady or elderly gentleman, or it could be even a person in their 30s or 40s. And every time you talk to them, they're saying something like, oh, this old leg keep hurting me. Oh, this old leg, this leg, boy, that leg in pain. That leg, everybody they talk to on the phone, everybody they come to the house, they talking about that little leg. The leg is listening. Those 75 trillion cells in your bodies are listening. What do you think you're saying? Wow. The voice that leg is hearing, the voice that your organs are hearing, the voice that your blood is hearing, the voice of your physical body is hearing, that voice that is hearing is God to it. The Most High told Moses, he said, Moses, because remember, Moses was procrastinating. The children of Israel was in slavery in Egypt for years. Moses was the savior at that time for the children of Israel. Moses was afraid. He grew up in Pharaoh's household. The new Pharaoh at that time in Egypt was his cousin, step cousin. He knew how his cousin rolled. He knew the heart of his cousin. He knew the beliefs of his cousin. His cousin didn't play. So his cousin became Pharaoh. Moses left. He got put out the city. He was gone for a long while. He took on a wife, had children, started a family, had a business going. And here go the Most High telling him on the mountain, say, Moses, I need you to go back to the children of Israel to save them and bring them out of Egypt, to bring them into the promised land. Not the promised sky at that time. He said, bring them to the promised land. The land of milk and honey, aka real estate. They're going to have their own real estate, their own city. Moses was afraid. He was thinking fearful thoughts. He had worry, doubt, fear. It turned into anxiety. So he directly told the Most High, what do you want me to do? I can't go back to Pharaoh and tell Pharaoh, let my people go. They would kill me. Who am I? Like, who are you? What's your name, God? Who should I tell them that sent me? The Most High looked at Moses, basically was like, look, Moses. Listen, all the things I've shown you, and you still procrastinating? Moses, listen, tell him I am who I am. Tell him I am sent you. Moses, he told Moses, he said, Moses, I made you a God over Pharaoh. Go look that up, ladies and gentlemen. Don't believe Randy word? Go look it up in the scripture. The Most High told Moses, he said, Moses, I made you a God over Pharaoh. Guess what that did to Moses? That built up his faith by hearing those words. Moses started to visualize himself going into Egypt, standing bold and talking to Pharaoh. Let my people go. And so since Moses had this certain belief in him, because he was seeing the vision and feeling the feeling of the vision, he was hearing those words over the day. You know, Moses was writing that thing that I am so happy and grateful that I'm a God over Pharaoh. He was saying that probably 10 times in the morning, 10 times in the evening, because it wasn't just the next day that Moses rose out, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't just the next day. There was a time lapse that passed. Moses was working on himself. He was hearing that word over and over again. I'm so happy and grateful and excited that I'm a God over Pharaoh. I'm a God over Pharaoh. I'm a God over repetition over and over again. And then it what? It went into his subconscious mind as a new program. It became a habitual habit. So now Moses knew and felt that he was a God, that he had the greatest God, the Most High God, the God of Israel on his side. And when he went down there, he took massive action. That goes back to our bear. Moses had created a belief. His emotion was in line with his positive belief. He took massive action and he got the results that he preferred. He got the results he wanted. So today, guys, remember, if you found some value, what I shared with you, then make sure you smash that like button, leave a positive comment, share this with other people that may be interested in personal development, right? Because the more that YouTube, Facebook, and all other social media platforms see these likes and comments, they say, wait a minute, hold on, this is some good information. Keep pushing that out to people that need to hear this. People dealing with mental health issues, they need to hear this. People that's been procrastinating and they stuck, they hit a glass ceiling, they need to hear this. Share it, like it, comment. So with that being said, guys, you enjoy the rest of your day on purpose. And I mean that. You can find me at chamblessmortgagecapital.com. Make sure you click on that link to join the community for free. We call it our real estate investor mastermind community, where you can continue to get education and ongoing inspiration, but more important, accountability to be able to reach the goals that you want. So God bless. Enjoy the rest of your day on purpose. Take care.